Hi everybody, this is Bill Price from HowToLanguages.com, and I'm here with a quick video. Well, maybe not so quick. If anybody knows me, I have a penchant for rambling, but I think there's really good stuff in this one, and it's basically about 5 things that I have really come to the conclusion of from years of language learning. And we'll jump right into it. The first thing is color outside the lines. Okay, you don't need to learn everything that the beginning books and manuals and everything else says you need to learn. If you don't want to learn colors right off the bat, don't. If you don't want to spend the first 2 days on different types of animals, don't. If you're interested in video games and you want to learn how to talk about video games in your language, jump into that. You know, all you really need is grammar, a little bit of grammar, and you need the vocabulary for it. I actually covered a lot of this in my last blog post, and definitely go check that out. It's the latest one on How To Languages. And the whole point is that language learning you can really hit a wall if you are always going after and doing the stuff that they say that you should. And by them, I mean, conventional teaching wisdom and, conventional courses and everything that want to teach somebody how to go to Germany and buy bread and buy plane tickets. So if that's not what you want to learn the language for, if you're excited to learn it for something that you want to engage with and engage in, learn what you want. You can always circle back around. It took me in German. I started German, 3 years ago, and it took me probably, I was 9 months in before I learned really the colors. It was 1.5 years in before I learned any animals. I just don't talk about animals that much. I mean, I'll talk about my dogs or something like that, but I don't, even in English, giraffe and hippopotamus don't come up a whole lot unless I'm at the zoo. So those are things I didn't focus on, and my German is fine. I speak fluent German and don't have any issues talking about pretty much anything I want to. So just because they say that that's what you should learn next doesn't mean you have to. And it's kind of, by the time you get to your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th language, learning that same stuff in the same order, it's not only tedious, but it weighs on you. It's heavy, like, oh, this is the part I have to get done before I can really start engaging with the language. No, it's not. Engage away. Talk about the things that you want to talk about. Have fun. Circle back when you find that you need those things. That's number 1. Number 2, I've come to the conclusion that pretty much anything, motivation is absolutely critical to success. If you, more than anything else, if you are not motivated to learn a language, you will not. It's not like taking, say, a computer programming class. You take that, maybe you're not in love with computer programming, but you go to class, you memorize the stuff, you learn it like you would any other subject, and you have the skills, you get the practice in class, what have you. Language learning requires not just small amounts of focus and rote memorization. It's organic, and it really does require that you not only study and learn these pieces, these grammar pieces, these vocab pieces, colloquialisms and those kind of things. But you actually have to legitimately use it outside of whether it's a classroom or your self-study time. You have to constantly use it. You can't just, at least I can't, just study, get my notebook and my book and study for half an hour a day and make any progress. I can't. It's in and out. It's not like memorizing multiplication tables. If you do not use the words and use the grammar to put the words together, it's not going to stick. It's a communication. That's what language is communication. It's not. It isn't as simple as other subjects. It just really isn't. And I firmly believe this, given the experience that I've had, because I've tried to learn languages in school and things like that, and if I didn't use it, I didn't learn it. My oldest son is in high school, and he's on his second or third year of Spanish, and he's failing Spanish because he has no interest in Spanish. He doesn't use Spanish. He doesn't have any need for it, and he's not excited about it. He's not motivated at all. And the teachers everyone always tries to put language learning in the same academic box as math or science or history, but it's not. It's far more organic than any of those things. It targets a different part of the brain. It's just not the same. And so without motivation, you cannot. Without motivation, you're not going to leave class and try talking to yourself in the mirror. Try jotting down some words that you want to learn in order to make your speech more natural. You don't go out and engage people that you may know that speak the language. You just don't without the motivation. So there's always this big concept of how do I get or maintain motivation. So I've seen a lot of people really excited to learn, and they start learning and they're like, man, there's just so much and it's so overwhelming, and I just maybe this isn't as exciting as I thought it would be, learning another language. Because it's a slog, no doubt. But what I do, and has always worked for me, is to engage. Engage with numerous groups, a lot on the internet, but some in real life too. So I belong to a bunch of polyglot Facebook groups, and just seeing the passion and the love for languages is motivation. Seeing the stories of people who are on their 5th, 6th, 10th, 12th language is exciting, and it's invigorating, and it's energizing for me, because that's part of my goals is to speak a bunch of languages. Not a bunch. I certainly have finite goals, but to me, that's just seeing that people have achieved, been able to achieve, and are able to talk about it. That gets me motivated. That gets me pumped. Also, forums. I belong to a couple different forums. The How to Learn Any Languages forum is How to Learn Any Language is fantastic. So check that out. But just to see all this sharing of advice and ideas and behaviors, and hey, why don't you change this and see if this works? Oh, here's what I'm stuck on. I just can't get past this piece. What do I do? Oh, well, when I hit that wall, here's what I did. and that is motivating. That's engaging. That's that's the essence of it. Reading blog posts. I write a blog post, I write a blog, but it certainly doesn't mean that I don't go out and actively read other language learning blogs. I'm not in this to make money. I don't have an income stream really from this. So my passion is in learning the languages. And so any tips, advice, tidbits, anything I can pick up from other bloggers is fantastic. And so, okay. So motivation is critical. It's not wasted time. To go out and read these things and do these things is not a waste of time. A lot of people say, I waste all this time, figure out how to learn, and not. It's not a waste of time. It's motivating. For me, it's a motivating factor. So it's not a waste of time. Number 3, don't believe the hype. There's no magic pill. There's nothing that is going to teach you a language in 10 days or 3 months or 6 months. You could certainly get a proficiency in 3 months, in 6 months, and what have you. You're not going to get a proficiency in 10 days. But just because a book tells you, hey, these 30 lessons, if you do one each day, you'll be a native speaker by the end of it. You're not. And you're only going to get what you get out of it, what you put into it. So, for example, if you were just sort of interested and you kind of dilly-dallied and you did want to exercise each day, but you didn't really focus on it, you didn't practice it outside of, that half-hour session or whatever, you're not going to get very far. If you take that and are motivated and say, you know what, I'm going to do this, and you put your heart and soul into it, and you work it for the half hour, and then you touch back on it and review it again that day, and you quiz yourself, and you use what you learned in the mirror, or to engage with a friend on the internet, or what have you, and every day is just this excitement and this absorbing of what's in front of you. Yeah, you know what? You're going to get pretty far after those 30 lessons are over. You're going to be where you are ready to really get into, other exciting stuff. You're going to be far and away more equipped in the language than the guy who is, pardon my language, who half-asses it. So it's all about effort. Your fluency is directly proportional to your effort. There's no magic plan. There's no magic course. There's just you and your motivation, and that's pretty much it. Number 4 is that I learned is don't measure your success against somebody else's accomplishments. It's very easy to get intimidated when you get on the forums, you get on Facebook group, and you're like, oh, this guy knows 15 languages. I only know 3. I'm a huge failure. No, you're not a huge failure. A, you don't know how well he knows those 15 languages, but B, maybe he's been doing this for 3 times, 4 times, 10 times as long. Maybe if you look at the languages and you see, oh, okay, he's got, Serbian, Croatian, Bulgarian, Russian. He's got all these Slavic languages, Czech, and French and Portuguese and Spanish and Italian, and you're thinking, oh, okay, well, I could see how knowing one of these groups helps to engage the others. So, maybe all you know is French and Chinese and Turkish. Okay, well, those are all 3 legitimate very different languages. So don't feel bad. Don't get caught up in numbers, and certainly don't measure your success based on somebody else's accomplishments. That's a big one. And finally, I have come to the conclusion that the single most important thing you can do to get better at speaking a language is to speak with native speakers or advanced learners. There's no substitute. There's no substitute for the output and the input. You can sort of fudge the input by listening to enough audio. You can't fudge the output. You can't, because native speakers or advanced learners will correct you. They'll say, "Oh, this, actually, the word order's inversed. Just change that. You inverted that." Okay. Speaking to yourself in the mirror or what have you is not gonna fix those things. It's, oh, it's not lie, it's lay. Oh, okay, I get it. You're not going to get that correction in the mirror. There really just is no substitute for speaking. There really isn't. And if there's one thing that's as close to a magic pill as possible, it's just speaking practice. Get out there, speak, and listen, and there's no substitute. So, all right. Well, I'm out of time. So. If you have any questions or any feedback, agree with me, disagree with me, what have you, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to my channel and check out my blog at www.howtolanguages.com. Again, this is Bill Price, and I will see you next time.